Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Will. Welcome to the 10th edition of Sports Urban Legend TV. Of course, your host, William Mo. And I wanted to shoot a quick video to, you know, talk about David Wright as he's about to play his last game as a New York Met and of his Major League career. And before I get into that, if you like this episode, feel free to like, subscribe to it, comment on it, share it, and click on that notification bell so you could be notified for future episodes. But with that said, I'm here to talk about, an end of an era. One of my all-time favorite Mets, David Wright. He's going to ride off into the sunset after today. Tonight's game momentarily. And being a Mets fan since '99, there was some players that I really gravitated to. Obviously, number one was Mike Piazza, Edgar Alfonso, Ventura, and then Reyes. Or obviously, me and Reyes shared the same birth date. We were both born June 11, 1983. So I always had that connection with Reyes and Reyes's enthusiastic way he plays the game. I always liked the way Reyes played that game. And of course, another guy that really stood out to me, obviously at that time period, was David Wright. And you could clearly see if you followed the Mets minor league system that he was very, very highly touted in the Mets system. And because of his work ethic, he really lived up to that hype. He played the game the right way, no pun intended. And he really exemplified what a Met really means. A underdog, blue collar guy who's talented, and who doesn't believe the hype and believes that he has to make a name for himself by playing the game hard, and just appreciating the fans. And another thing that I loved about Wright, and still do to this day, is he grew up a Mets fan. He grew up in Virginia, Norfolk, Virginia, where the AAA team, the Tidewaters, played at that time. So he grew up a Mets fan, and as a result, he became a Mets fan because a lot of the players he saw, when he got foul balls, they would, eventually become Mets. So that's how he became a Met fan. And, it's the end of an era, man. His career would have been surefire Hall of Fame. But, unfortunately that hit, when he got hit in the head by Matt Cain, I think around 2010, if my memory serves me right. Ever since then, it's been downhill, and he hasn't really stayed on the field. I mean, his biggest highlight, other than hitting the first home run in Citi Field and being the all-time Mets, hits leader, surpassing Ed Kranepool, and obviously, just being an all-around Met, being a leader of the 2006 division title team that fell, just short of going to the championship as a result of losing to the Cardinals. And then of course his biggest highlight was in 2015 when he led the Mets along with Daniel Murphy's awesome postseason prowess against the top pitchers in the game, like Jake Arrieta and Kershaw, to name a few. David Wright's biggest accomplishment was that he hit his first home run in the World Series, which it's towards the end of his career, it seemed like it was insurmountable because David Wright, he faced a lot of tough seasons. Obviously the collapses in 2007 and 8, and all the horrible baseball in between '07 and 2015. And then of course he has that highlight of getting that base hit off Mariano Rivera the game-winning hit over Damon's head in '06, and then of course he spoiled Mariano Rivera's last Subway Series appearance at Citi Field when Duda and him, they both had big hits. I think Wright scored the tying run. I think, if my memory serves me right. I think he knocked in Murphy. And then I think Duda knocked in the game-winning run, which scored Wright. I think, if my memory serves me right. So he's had some memorable games, especially in the Subway Series. And unfortunately, 2015. After 2015, when Mets fell in 5 games to the Royals, the following year, Wright has been having these problems, which, back problems and other type of problems, which kept them off the field. All the way up to this point. So he hasn't played a game, until prior to yesterday, where he had a pinch hit and he grounded out, ironically, to third base on the first pitch. And as we speak right now, he should be, the pre-game ceremony should be starting. So, he's going to play his first and last start at third base since 2016, I should say. So again, I want to thank David Wright. There's been a lot of great Mets before him. There's been some great Mets after him. Conforto looks like he could be the next Mets superstar. You got Nimmo, who's been playing well. Jeff McNeil, I mean, he's played incredibly well this year. We'll see what the future holds for him at second base. And if this is the last game of Reyes and Wright of their career, I just want to say, thank you to both of them for putting on that Met uniform and just playing the game the way it's supposed to be played. With a childlike enthusiasm and just being grateful to play, to get paid, well for a sport you love. And with that, David Wright, there's nothing more I can say but thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, from every Met fan who's been watching you play since 2004 until now. So good luck, best of luck to you. Hopefully you'll stay within the organization, whether it's just as an ambassador. And, hopefully one day we can finally get that ring for you that we couldn't get for you, that you couldn't, unfortunately, get as a player. So hopefully whoever the Mets get as a GM in this offseason, hopefully, they will keep you in the organization somehow, and, we can turn this, hopefully this organization can turn it around. But most importantly, thank you for the memories, David Wright, and look forward to seeing you have your number 5 jersey retired in the future. God bless you and have a wonderful day. Folks, if you like this episode, feel free to like it, comment on it, share it. Of course, subscribe and hit that notification button. But with that said, I'm William Rameau, and I'll see you guys next week or next time. And let's go Mets. Peace.